Here are 100 Pokemon Go tips and tricks and facts that you should probably know. Quick catching is currently the fastest and most efficient way to catch Pokemon in Pokemon Go. To do it, you click and hold the berry button on the bottom left in a Pokemon encounter, throw a ball, swipe your finger over, opening the berries, click the screen to click out of the berries, and click the flee button in the top left of the screen. It takes some practice, but it's worth it. In your tags section, you can press and hold individual tags to move them around. Never mass transfer Pokemon without checking for 100% IVs first. Simply go into your Pokemon inventory, sort by recent, and search for Star to see your most recent 100% IV Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon are 20% more powerful than normal Pokemon, so you never want to purify good IV ones. Nanabs are honestly the most useless berry, and you can usually dump them when your bag begins to fill up. You can gain kilometers on your eggs without walking by turning Adventure Sync on, closing your app, locking your phone, and shaking it profusely. Always TM frustration off of your good Shadow Pokemon during events that allow it. Every month during one Spotlight Hour event, we get 2 times transfer candy. Save up your meta-relevant Pokemon and mass transfer them during this hour. You can open your mystery box and encounter Meltan by transferring a Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home. It's usually best to not evolve rare 100% IV Pokemon that might get a community day in the future. For example, I have a 100% IV Axew, and I will not be evolving it until next year's Axew community day happens, most likely in June. Elite Charge TMs and Elite Fast TMs are some of the most valuable items in the game. They can be purchased during every community day event in the shop or gained for free as an end of season Go Battle League reward for higher ranks. Speaking of Go Battle League, you can get free legendary Pokemon encounters by reaching rank 20 in the GBL. Always use rare candies on either meta-relevant Pokemon or Pokemon that are rare that you need candy for to evolve to get into your Pokedex. Rare candies are hard to find, hard to get, and not something you want to waste. You can invite up to 10 people to a raid lobby by inviting 5, waiting for at least 1 person to join, backing out underneath the 60-second mark, rejoining, then inviting 5 more people. Always favorite Pokemon that you want to keep, including your shinies in your 100% IVs. Accidental transfers happen all the time, and trust me, they suck. Instead of just dumping your berries, you can visit gyms and feed them to Pokemon to get extra Stardust. Team Go Rocket balloons appear once every 6 hours at midnight, 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. You can mass transfer shiny and legendary Pokemon by visiting your settings and checking expanded group transfer. The move that Smeargle gets depends on the moves of the Pokemon you took a picture of to summon the Smeargle. Every day when logging in for the first time, a random Pokemon will spawn on your location with a white circle around it and stay there until you catch it, or until the next day begins. The recommended parties in raids are usually terrible. Do a little research before battling legendary raids and create parties beforehand. Please. Turning off Niantic AR in your settings will allow you to enter AR mode with Pokemon without having to scan the space around you. You cannot mass transfer lucky Pokemon even with expanded group transfer selected. The only way to get 12-kilometer eggs in Pokemon Go is by defeating Team Go Rocket leaders. Once per month, we always get a 2 times catch XP event during a Spotlight Hour that is really good to grind if you need XP. If you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, you can get extra candies when catching Pokemon that are the same type as your Mega. You need a total of 296 XL candies to max out a Pokemon to level 50 in Pokemon Go. Sponsored Pokestops give unique field research that could reward large amounts of Stardust or rare candies. Using a Poffin on a Pokemon doubles the amount of hearts you can earn with that Pokemon. Pineapple berries double the candy you get from catching a Pokemon, and a silver pineapple berry doubles and adds +1 for a total of 7 candies per catch. You can gain up to 50 free Pokecoins per day from leaving your Pokemon in gyms. Shiny Pokemon encountered in raids are always a guaranteed catch, which makes for really good pineapple berry targets. Go Battle League is the #1 way to farm Stardust in Pokemon Go. When you reach best friends with someone, you gain 100,000 XP. It is always great to try to coordinate with people before hitting best friends so you can get that lucky egg down. You can spin a Pokestop once every 5 minutes. If you're looking to clear up item space by dumping berries, dump your silver pineapples and golden raspberries last. There's a handful of regional Pokemon that spawn only in certain locations around the world. You can start getting XL candy at level 31. Using Adventure Sync allows your game to track kilometers walked even when your game isn't open, which can help a lot when hatching eggs. There are certain Pokemon with permanently boosted shiny odds of 1 in 64. They include Charizard, Onix, Bronzor, Alolan Vulpix, and several others. Raid Pokemon have fixed CP limits, which means the 100% IV catch CP will be the same every time for every trainer across Pokemon. In order to reach level 50 in Pokemon Go, you need a lifetime 176 million XP. Each Eevee evolution can be evolved to by naming an Eevee a specific name and then evolving it. But each name trick can only be used once per account. Throwing curveballs will reward the player with a higher catch chance and more XP for catching. Weather can impact both the Pokemon spawning and the strength of the Pokemon spawning. Using a golden raspberry on a Pokemon in a gym will immediately restore its health to full. When starting the game for the first time, you can get Pikachu as your first Pokemon if you walk away from the 3 starters 3 times. Incense will spawn 1 Pokemon every 30 seconds when moving and 1 Pokemon every 5 minutes when sitting still. There are currently 5 different kinds of lure modules in Pokemon Go, each targeting a specific group of Pokemon. Leveling up your friendship with other players is the most efficient free-to-play way of gaining XP. The base shiny rates in Pokemon Go are around 1 in 500. If you reach rank 24 in the Go Battle League, you are awarded 200,000 Stardust at the end of the season. Once you complete a field research task 7 days in a row, you get a research breakthrough box which features XP, Stardust, rare items, and a rare Pokemon encounter. You can encounter Smeargle by taking AR photos of Pokemon. If you want to change your team in Pokemon Go, you can do it by purchasing a team medallion in the shop, which costs 1,000 Pokecoins and can be purchased once every 365 days. Legendary raids have a 1 in 20 shiny chance. When you click on a Pokemon in the wild and flee from it, it will face you on the map. This is really helpful when shiny checking large clusters to remember which Pokemon you've already checked. You can create what's called a research stack by encountering Pokemon from field research, then running from them, stacking them in your research tab. Encountering Pokemon in AR mode is about 1 second faster per encounter because you skip the initial encounter scene. If you watch many high-level players play, they always have AR mode on. The Today View tab is a great way to keep track of current events and upcoming events and just features that are happening live in Pokemon Go now. Level 50 is currently the highest level in the game. You can only trade a Pokemon once. More rare shiny Pokemon like Dino, Gible, and Axew all eventually get their own Community Day event, especially if there are 3 Pokemon in the family. So don't stress too much about getting these rare shinies unless you really want them right now. You can search for and see all the Pokemon you've caught in the past 24 hours by searching Age 0. When battling Team Rocket, switching Pokemon and using moves will create a short delay in the enemy Pokemon's attacks. This can be super helpful when defeating more difficult team leaders if used correctly. You can revive fainted Pokemon without using a revive by powering them up once. When opening gifts, you can skip the animation by clicking on the bottom middle of the screen where the X would be. In order to reach level 50, you need at least 10 platinum badges, which can be very difficult, so it's helpful to passively work on that as you play. 69 CP shiny Pokemon are a massive flex. To get lucky friends with another trainer, you need to hit best friends and interact daily until lucky friends pretty much randomly happens. The typical rate is about once every 85 days. The Pokemon Go Plus is an auto catcher that can automatically catch Pokemon for you, but you still need to click on the device once for every Pokemon it finds, and it has about a 50% chance of catching each Pokemon. Trading Pokemon is much more efficient than just transferring them, as you can re-roll them for better IVs and more candies from trades. You can technically stack your Super Rocket radars so that when a really good Shadow Legendary Pokemon comes out, you can get multiple of it. If you trade a Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home, you cannot get it back into Go. Speaking of trading, mythical Pokemon cannot be traded in Pokemon Go except for Meltan. You can get 1 free raid pass per day from visiting gyms. Once you reach level 38, you can start submitting locations to become possible Pokestops. Joining a local Discord or Facebook group can help a ton when finding more people to raid and play with in your local area. You can level up your Mega Pokemon by evolving it once per day. It takes 30 days of Mega Evolutions to reach max level. You can get more balls without spinning stops by opening gifts from your friends. Your buddy Pokemon can hit balls back at wild Pokemon in encounters once it reaches Great Buddy. Don't be afraid to use items like incenses, star pieces, and lucky eggs because there's a lot of events and research events that happen that dish out those items for free. A 0% IV Pokemon is technically more rare than a 100% IV Pokemon. Community Day shiny rates are roughly 1 in 25. Catching a Pokemon and spinning a Pokestop once per day can get you to the 7-day streak, which rewards a ton of XP, Stardust, and items. Shadow Pokemon can be shiny, but the only way to get a Shadow shiny is by defeating Team Go Rocket leaders. Every day, you get 1 free item box in the shop. The blue glow behind a friend's profile picture means you've already already interacted with them that day. Some Pokemon can be evolved without using candy if traded. Some of them include Machoke, Kadabra, and Haunter. You can only get 7-kilometer eggs from opening gifts. The Lake Trio, aka Yuxi, Mesprit, and Azelf, are the only legendary Pokemon that can currently be found in the wild, and they can be shiny. You can level up your buddy Pokemon's friendship with a handful of actions per day. It takes a total of 300 hearts to get best buddies. You can store a maximum of 10,000 Mega Energy per Pokemon. When battling raid bosses, you can tell what their catch CP will be before encountering it. Once the raid boss is defeated, the CP number will tick down until it reaches the catch CP of that Pokemon. You'll have like half a second, if not less, to see what that catch CP number is, but if you're quick, you'll see it. There are a handful of Pokemon that require 400 candies to evolve in Pokemon Go. They include Magikarp, Meltan, Swablu, Wailmer, Noibat, Stuffle, and Wimpod. You can have a maximum of 400 people on your friends list. By walking 25 kilometers in a week, you get a 5-kilometer Adventure Sync egg. Walk 50 kilometers and you get a 10-kilometer egg. These eggs are special because they feature different and honestly better Pokemon than the normal 5 and 10-kilometer eggs. By leveling up your typing medals, Pokemon of that typing become easier to catch. You can get extra XP and items from gyms if you level their badges up. You can battle people on your friends list from anywhere in the world once you reach Ultra Friends. But to trade, you must be within 100 meters. And those were 100 tips, tricks, and facts about Pokemon Go I think you should know. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, see you in the next one, or click the other videos on screen. Take care.